Okay, Mona, I think I got you back on. Yeah. So, what's your response to what that journalist said about the Islamic Republic of Iran not preparing its people enough for war, like Israel and the U.S.?
Well, obviously, Israel is the belligerent in this situation, right? And its entire exists the forced displacement, erasure, genocide of the native people of that land. And in order to do that, you know, Israel's Israel exports weapons, right? Israel's economy based on tested, battle tested weaponry, which is used on um, the Palestinian civilian population. Not only traditional weapons, but intelligence, spying software. They're what's the word? Um, Startup nation, right? They have the technical, and software stuff that is military technology, and the uh, I actually saw sort of a campaign about the security, cybersecurity industry in Canada, including Montreal, being heavily involved with Israeli companies. So that's kind of their be all end alls, right? So it's their mode of operation. And that's okay. So they have bunkers because they Israel's entire existence is this forced existence with U.S. funding that in order to control, in order to have some presence, sort of a proxy presence by the United States in that region, right? Which used to be, a colony of the British, uh, and the history of it is that. And so, the fact that Iranians are just, kind of living their normal lives, and there's actually this culture of not being afraid. You can see many clips that come out of like the way Iranians express themselves about this, and the fact that the late Ali Khamenei was martyred in his home. That folks had said there were rumors of like, oh, he's hiding in some bunker somewhere, and that's exactly what did not happen. And there's an attitude by not only him but different Iranian officials, like, why would I go hide in some bunker when my people can't? Like, Iran has a 90 million population, right? And densely populated cities like Tehran. Like, how are you going to build bunkers for 90 million people as opposed to, I don't know what the population of settlers is in Israel, but they mostly have, dual citizenship, and, they can just run away too, which is just another thing that's happening. But people in Iran are standing their ground. And let me bring up another thing. There's this idea going around among these, dissident Iranian diaspora voices
Yeah.
of the communications shutdowns and suggesting that the Iranian government is cutting off the internet and communications, and because of this, people can't hear the messages from Israel about, oh, we're gonna bomb this place, you should run away. Okay, that's, as you said, victim blaming, but there are good reasons to cut the communications that the software applications, such as Telegram. What are the software applications? WhatsApp. What these that are controlled by companies. Based Facebook. The FANG companies, right, are all based in the United States. Facebook, now Meta, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Google has military contracts. Facebook, is known. The data sharing, leaking. There's definitely, these companies. We have concerns in. People in the United States have concerns about the spying capability of these.
Big tech.
Of these softwares, big tech. And why would Iran not be concerned about that when the United States is a state enemy? And, I understand that they maybe have recently moved from the satellite systems in the GPS that is based in US to a Chinese satellite system, which is a natural thing to do. This idea of a homegrown internet. And people are critical of this, and people in the West, in terms, of freedoms, freedom of communication and all of this. That can be an issue. But there's also,
that's not
as you mentioned earlier, psyops. The psyops, the I talked about when I spoke on CBC and I was attacked for it. I talked about influence operations, right? Influence operations. Also, you can talk about them as psyops. By the Mossad to change. People talk about agency, right? People do not form their ideas in a vacuum. They are formed with the influences around them, and these bot networks that exist on X and in other social media. There's reporting about them, about these pro-regime change bot networks. So when people are being bombarded with these foreign propaganda messaging, of course, like what else would you do, right? There's this idea of the free open internet. I think this is a very important topic that doesn't get talked about enough, because some folks in the West are missing this piece, right? Because we talk about all these sort of liberal rights and but we need to understand that our communication systems are not truly free, right? They're controlled by corporations that have their own ends in mind. The internet of today is, unfortunately, it's not what it was, when I was in high school and, just had all these mega corporations built up, and it's not free. It's not free speech on the internet. It's not, in the West we have...
Well, even then, the internet was always a wolf in sheep's clothing, because if you read Yasha Levine's book, Surveillance Valley, it was always, a product of the military-industrial complex. Oh, sorry about that, folks. We're having some internet problems, but we will be returning back. And we are back. Yes, we are back. I believe Mona can hear me. Can you hear me, Mona? All good, Mona?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, your image is not moving, but...
Okay, as long as you can hear me, that's good, though. Can you still hear me, Mona? Okay, wait.
I can hear you. So you were talking about Yasha Levine.
I was just saying that if you read Yasha Levine's book, Surveillance Valley, he talks about how the internet was always a brainchild of the military-industrial complex. So,
Of course, well. And, there's all these complexities with Tor and all of that, which was also,
yes, and he even talks about
U.S.
that in his book.
military, and
Yes, and he even talks about that as well in his book.
yeah.
Uh-oh. And
So, but, I'm talking about platform capitalism as well, which is like, it's ultimately up to the corporation to decide what gets said on these platforms. And we know that a lot of pro-Palestinian speech gets shut down or, what do they say, demonetized and, silently, like removed from
Iran
feeds.
too. I mean, Iran too. I mean, I've lost count how many times
Yeah.
Press TV gets demonetized, censored, completely kicked off of YouTube and whatnot, and it's annoying because Press TV like does a lot of fantastic stuff, and I think people should get another perspective. Why only one perspective? Like, what are people so afraid of? But anyhow.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we end the show. Actually, one more thing. You were talking about Iran defending itself. This came from Minpress News. Iran has announced that U.S. multinational corporations have now become targets. The IRGC says that the following companies will be targets and their sites will be destroyed for every assassination against an Iranian official. And they are Cisco, HP, Intel, Oracle, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Meta, IBM, Dell, Planter, NVIDIA, JP Morgan, Tesla, GE, Spire Solutions, G42, and Boeing. So,
Wow.
yeah, so it's scary. It's scary, but here's hoping that the Islamic Republic of Iran wins. So,
Well, yeah, as I talked about with the Strait and how they're closing or requesting the use of not U.S. dollars. This is I think Iran needs reparations. It needs to fund the rebuilding of the infrastructure that's been destroyed, and if that gets paid by the pockets of American corporations, that's ultimately sounds just to me.
Well, long live the axis of resistance. All right. We usually end the program doing the questionnaire that was done by Marcel Proust, later popular French broadcaster, the late Bernard Pivot, and later my hero, the late, great James Lipton of Inside the Actors Studio. Mona, because it's your first time on the program, it's your turn to do this. So before I let you enjoy the rest of the weekend, here it goes. What is your favorite word? And by the way, if it's in Persian, if it's in Farsi, feel free that also be your choice. So, what is your favorite word?
Yeah, well, you sent me these in Res. I had to think a little bit, but I actually chose an Arabic word, hurriya.
Oh, what was that word?
Hurriya, freedom in Arabic.
Oh.
I almost wanted to get it tattooed, in the last couple of years protesting the genocide, but
Okay, then what's your least favorite words?
This is just really hard for me. But maybe regime to get through.
Okay. Then what turns you on? What inspires you creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
The fighting of the resistance in Palestine, and how nobly the leaders who have been assassinated have fought and been martyred in the path of justice and liberation. Definitely. And for us in the belly of the beast, so to speak, we can barely we can barely live up to anything close to that. Any of the activism that we're doing doesn't come close.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Then what turns you off then?
Uh, I mean, we talked about the Iranian pro-Israel fascists. I
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so unfortunate. Just kind of.
Then what's your favorite curse word? And it can be and you know, seeing as you're from Canada, it can be a French one. Seeing as you're from Iran, it can be a Farsi one. Or yeah, what's your favorite curse word?
I don't curse.
So no answer, blank answer then.
Oh yeah, I couldn't come up with anything interesting, but
Okay.
yeah,
All
we're in
right.
Quebec, maybe like talk about
Okay. We'll leave that blank. We'll leave that
yeah.
blank then. Yep, we can do
Yeah.
that. Okay. Greta also doesn't curse. Greta Zaro of World Beyond War, she also had no answers for that one. Then, what sound or noise do you love, and what sound or noise do you dislike?
Yeah, maybe yeah, I'm some of these are on the spot right now. Maybe a kitten purring or something. And then, as soon as you say what sound do you dislike, I always think of nails on a chalkboard. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's so grating. Oh God.
Then, what profession, if you what profession, if you weren't doing the one that you're doing right now with the ICC, what profession would you love to do?
Yeah, I think about this a lot. Like I have always had multiple interests. Um, so I work in software now, and that's fine. Pays the bills and means that I, don't have to worry too much about, you know, my economic, ability to sustain myself while I do my activism. But I would love to just be able to do art or teach or, do research, maybe journalism. I
Okay.
did, I did pursue my master's in anthropology, and I planned to get a PhD, but just due to sort of my economic conditions at the time and just needing to be self-sustaining, I opted to go find work, and the software industry was where I landed with my bachelor's background. But I would love to be able to just engage with people more. I don't have so much time to read as I would love to, but at the same time, there's so much happening right now. History is like, it's,
Well,
there's so much history happening right now, but, would love to just have time to read. So either like a professor or,
okay.
an
Well,
artist or something like that.
I'm trying to come up with some more media projects, so I will definitely keep you in mind as a candidate. You'll already have a job if there is a job available. So
Oh, that's
then
kind of,
then what profession would you absolutely not want to do under any circumstances?
uh, when I was in elementary school, one time there was a student teacher, and she learned that I know how to speak Farsi, and she said, "Oh, you could work for the CIA." And I think that would be my answer. I never want to work for the
Wow.
CIA.
I'm assuming she had no idea of what the CIA and its fascist goons actually did to Iran to even suggest that.
This,
Watching too much 24. Too much 24, too much James Bond, too much
yeah.
Homeland or whatever, or whatever stupid series, whatever propaganda. Alrighty, lastly, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear Allah say as you arrive in paradise, or whatever is your vision of the afterlife? And even if you're an atheist, please do answer the question.
Yeah, well, I hope, I'll hope that I'll have done enough, to get there. And, you know, I hope that my parents would be proud of me, and I hope that God would be satisfied with what I've done on earth. And, I just hope that's what's expressed, right? That my works on Earth were satisfactory, and that I've earned earned the right to be there in heaven.
Oh, but I think, but I think whenever the time comes, hopefully not soon, but whenever that time comes, I think yes, I think Allah would be very, very proud of you, and your parents waiting for you over there would definitely also be very proud of you and all the others. So, well, we were joined on this edition of One Plus One with Mix Mona Ghassemi, who is president of the Iranian Canadian Congress. Mona, my thoughts and deepest and sincerest prayers that all of your loved ones, friends, colleagues, families in Iran are safe and out of harm's way. Solidarity to the people of your country. Long has been part of the axis of resistance, and may the Islamic Republic of Iran overcome the evil efforts of pan-European Western imperialism and Zionism to subjugate the nation. So I hope all will be well. And I also hope that this will be the first of many conversations we have both on and off the air. And until then, you have a great weekend. Good night and good luck, and keep doing the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Youri. So happy to be on. This was a great conversation.
Likewise.